Is coaching seriously worth it? Because it is so expensive. People ask me this all the time, so I wanted to make this video just for you. In this video, I'm gonna break down if coaching is actually worth it, the pros and cons of what coaching can do for you in your real estate investing journey, and what I specifically got out of coaching. So if you're someone who's on the fence about getting a coach in real estate investing, stop right there. Make sure you watch to the end of this video because I'm gonna show you how I turned my $20,000 investment to over 10x that from 1 year of coaching. Aloha, my name is Stacy Johnson. On this channel, we teach you how to find your first deal and get paid. I'm a real estate investor who went from negative $30,000 on my first flip to over $300,000 from flipping and wholesaling in 2023. Let's get right into it. First things first is, how do you find a coaching program? The best way to find a coaching program is through social media. When I was first getting started in real estate, I did my first deal all by myself. And I ended up losing $30,000 on a property I spent $12,000 for. It was a mobile home in Southern California, and I thought I knew it all because I was actually in construction. I was managing over 100 people on the field, building a $133 million ground up dorm tower at UC Irvine. And so I thought that I knew it all and I didn't need a coach. Little did I know that I was about to lose my butt on this deal. I ended up losing $30K on this project. You wanna know what the number one thing I was missing when I realized and I took a step back and looked at what happened during this deal? It was that I didn't have a coach. If I just had a coach to ask these questions, I probably wouldn't have had such a big ego and realize what I didn't know. You don't know what you don't know when you first get started in real estate. Yes, maybe I would have spent money to go pay for this coach, but I probably wouldn't have lost that $30K. And so what I did on my second flip was I went to go find the best mobile home guy in the game on social media. Found him on Instagram, I found him on YouTube, I found him on Bigger Pockets, and it seemed to me that he was the best mobile home investor in the game. And because I was doing mobile homes at the time, I wanted to get specifically coached by a mobile home investor. So I found this guy named John Fedro, and he seemed to be a super cool guy, really knowledgeable, and I ended up joining his coaching program. And it was awesome because on my second deal, I ended up making a 20% return on investment. So going from negative $30K to making a 20% ROI on that second flip, purely from having a coach. I knew that coaching was essential to not making the stupid mistakes that newbies make that they don't even realize that they're making. I was one of them. And so after I ended up flipping that second property, I did one more, and then I ended up moving back home to Hawaii. And because I was moving back home to Hawaii, I knew I needed to get a new coach. Why? It's because there was no mobile homes in Hawaii. I was spending $5,000 to $15,000 on a little trailer to now moving to $1 million houses that I was purchasing anywhere from $150,000 to $1.5 million. This was a huge range. And I knew that John wasn't the guy who was gonna help me get there. And I didn't wanna make the same mistake because I had just quit my job, moved back home, and I was gonna jump head first into real estate. So I needed to find the coach that was going to help me jumpstart my real estate investing career in Hawaii. And so I found Ryan Pineda. I ended up paying him $20,000 for this initial investment in coaching. This was back in 2020 when I first joined this program. Now today, the program is probably over $30K, but that $20K sticker price was a big deal for me at the time. I had just quit my job. I didn't have a lot of savings. This was really all I had, but I knew that this was the one thing I needed to do so I wouldn't make the same stupid mistake that I made on my first flip. And if I was gonna be taking these huge risks of adding multiple zeros to my initial purchase price, which was again $5,000 to $15,000, now I'm adding multiple zeros on top of these purchase prices, I needed somebody to help me and guide me through and teach me what to do. And so I joined Ryan Pineda's most expensive coaching program. I found him on social media and I really liked him because I liked his values. I liked that he was a Christian. I liked that he wasn't trying to hustle all the time. He was all about working on the business instead of in the business. And I knew this was the guy that was going to help me take it to the next level. So now I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of getting a coach. First, let's talk about the cons. Let's be real. It is super expensive. Usually people are getting into real estate investing because they want to make money. And to put out 20, 30K on an initial investment is is a lot of money. They probably don't even have that kind of money. That's why they're trying to get into real estate. So yes, it is very expensive to get into coaching. But what I will say is to ask yourself, instead of thinking, dude, this is too expensive, I can't afford it, tell yourself, I can't afford not to get this coaching, because if I don't pay into this, I'm gonna be exactly where I was a year ago, wishing I got into real estate. And the more time that you let pass, the more opportunities you're letting pass, and all these people who decided to take action are going to surpass you in your journey. Don't be that guy that goes to every single meetup and never takes action, just constantly is learning. You want to be that person that's actually taking action. And sometimes a coach and investing in yourself is what is going to be the kicker that helps you to get there. Think about the value that you're getting in the coaching program and see if that value is going to help you get a return on your investment. Think about coaching and paying into coaching as an investment in yourself. If I'm gonna put 20K for myself, I hope I'm gonna get at least a 3x return on it. The reality is that the information that you learn and the accountability that you get, the habits that you build while you're in coaching, if you take action on it, it's going to last you a lifetime. And this is just a foundation that you're building on. And you're gonna end up going into more and more coaching programs later, which to date, I've spent over $100,000 on coaching alone because I know the value that it gives me. So really ask yourself, are you willing to invest in yourself? And if you are willing to invest yourself, go buy some coaching, because you know you're gonna make a return on it if you take action on the steps that they tell you to. That's the only con I can think of as far as coaching, because it is a big sticker price. Now that we covered the cons, let's go ahead and talk about the pros. First pro is accountability. I know for me, when I was first getting started, especially as I quit my full-time job, I was used to checking in with somebody and seeing what I needed to do. And when you become your own boss, you don't have that anymore. So if you go buy coaching, which specifically I was in the All-Star program, I was now paying for the accountability that I needed. So week by week, I came in, talked to my coach, and every week I had questions, I was taking action, they gave me new goals for the week, and every week I was able to take a step closer and closer to my goals. Without these accountability calls, I probably wouldn't have been as motivated to take action on it. And on top of that, paying into the program was accountability for myself, because again, I quit my job. This was my only option. I paid 20K, didn't have much savings, and I knew this was the accountability I needed to make some money, because I wasn't about to lose 20K just by being one of those people that buy into coaching programs and literally do nothing, which most people actually do that, which is crazy to me, so don't be that guy. The second pro is community. Being around people that are like-minded and are already where you want to be. When I first quit my job, I was an engineer, and I had to move back in with my parents and really try to build from the ground up this business. And every single day my dad would ask me, when are you gonna get a real job? When are you gonna get a real job? When are you gonna get a real job? To Asians who know nothing about entrepreneurship, of course they're gonna think an engineer is like the top tier job, but little did they know I was gonna surpass that income that I was making as an engineer pretty easily because I paid into a coaching program. There's so much outside noise from people, from your family, from your friends, especially when you're getting started on a new journey. And so being around people who are already doing what you're doing is super important. That way you can stay motivated and stay disciplined to continue to take action on this journey. I love the community in Wealthy Investor. It's been a huge part of my success, and we even get to collaborate and do deals together. So that takes me to the third pro, and that is the networking and resources. Like I said, in the community, when you network with everybody, you're able to find deals, capital, and even share contractors. My first rental that I bought here in Eva Beach, I actually found from somebody inside the Wealthy Investor program. He texted me one day and he was like, hey, look, I have this deal in Eva Beach. It doesn't work for me. Do you want it? Ended up buying it, was gonna buy it as a flip, but we ended up keeping it as a rental. And now this is cash flowing over $1,000 a month because we got a HELOC to pay for this property. So our interest rate is pretty low and we're able to cash flow heavy, which is pretty difficult in Hawaii itself. So to get a deal from the Wealthy Investor program and finally get my first rental, that already paid for the return in itself with the appreciation that Hawaii is going to have over the next couple years. Now, lastly, I'll talk about what coaching has done for me. Really, like I said before, investing in myself and specifically Wealthy Investor has set the foundation for flipping and wholesaling and finding rental properties at a deep enough discount to where I'm able to make a profit in a very expensive market like Hawaii. Now, you can do this nationwide, obviously, but for me, I am in Hawaii. And so using the coaching program, they had what was called a marketing guide. And I literally took this marketing guide, implemented these exact systems, and worked at it every single day until I found a deal. And it took me 6 months, guys, 6 months of literally grinding it out, putting my head down and just like calling these sellers, following up, trying to close this deal. deal, and eventually 6 months later, I finally closed on my first deal. I ended up buying this property for $179,000. It was a little studio condo, 360 square feet in Avail, which if you look on the market, you can never find a property for $179,000 in that building. But I got this off market through cold calling from the systems that I learned from Ryan Pineda, and ended up putting 20K into that project and sold it for $260,000 4 months later and netted 40K profit on that. So just from that first deal alone, I already ended up making 2x that investment. Now fast forward to the first year after investing in coaching. In 2022, I made over $200,000 just from flipping and wholesaling 6 deals in Hawaii. So yes, I may have spent 20K, which is a huge sticker price for some people, and even myself at the time. 20K investing in myself, I ended up making a 10x return on that investment. To make $200,000 from investing 20K, I do that every day of the week. If you're contemplating investing in yourself and investing in coaching, I would highly recommend it, especially if you're one that's ready to take action and just need a little bit of hand-holding to go along the way. Because the reality is that people who are coaching are doing their own deals. They're really, really busy, and they're not just going to take your DM that says like, hey, I'm looking for a mentor. Do you want to be my mentor? Like, I can't just DM people who are super busy and they're just going to handhold me along the way. They want to see that I'm capable of taking action, capable of investing, capable of having some skin in the game, really, and willing to pay them for their coaching. That way I can get a return on my investment and get paid on multiple deals. So if you're contemplating coaching, I would highly, highly recommend it. And with that being said, I actually recently started taking on students for one-on-one coaching. I do not take on a volume of students. This is a very limited thing. I only take on a little bit of students because this is a full-on one-on-one experience where I custom create a blueprint for you and teach you step-by-step every single week on a one-on-one Zoom call that walks you through the entire process of how to find your first deal and get paid. So if you're interested in that, make sure you go to the link in the description below, sign up for a free strategy call. Let's get on a call, see if it makes sense. And I really want to be there to help you find your first deal and get paid. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope this video found you some value. See you on the next video. Shoots!